with Washington State, how do you prep for all that uncertainty that they've got?
Well, right now, up till this point, really the focus has been solely on us and improving every single day. And, for getting the guys learning the defense again and the new guys getting up to speed and continuing to hone our ability and focus on us. And now with the break of camp, then we got some players got tomorrow off. Coaches will really start digging into Washington State. And obviously, there is a lot of uncertainty with probably, with the new staff, them not having spring ball even and stuff like that. But, offensively, we basically played their offense last year when we played Hawaii. And so we feel like we have at least a fairly decent idea of what they're going to be doing on offense.
After you watched the scrimmage video, what was your view from that?
Which scrimmage video?
From Saturday. This is the first time we've talked to you since Saturday.
Oh, geez. That's like 5 days ago.
Well, it's kind of like a midterm for you guys, so.
Yeah, to be honest, I just been focused on the last couple of days and how we finished out the camp today. I think we've had some guys make some good strides. It's great to see Nahshon Wright back out there. I feel like he's getting close to being 100% healthy. He's a great addition to us to be back out there. I think, Isaiah Dunn's had a really good camp. And, I think that we're still a work in progress. We still got stuff that we need to improve on. We need to get some consistency in pass coverage and pass rush. But I think it's been a good camp for us overall.
You mentioned the consistency of pass rush. It's not as good as you would hope for at this point, or you just want more.
No, I think we can get better at pass rush. I think we can be more consistent in applying pressure on the quarterback and getting the biggest thing is the guys to be able to win one-on-one when we get matched up with offensive linemen and running backs in protection, that we've got to have those guys win those one-on-one matchups.
Is there any area in defense you feel like figuring out the rotation is going to go into next week?
Yeah, I think at both inside and outside linebacker, we got pretty good depth, and there's a lot of guys who could start for us and a lot of guys who have started for us and played a lot of football. And, I think it's going to be a situation where we're going to have, one A's and one B's really rather than ones and twos.
What about in the secondary? Is there anybody who on Saturday kind of, showed you something you hadn't seen before and might work their way into that rotation?
Well, I think the guy that was obviously not on our football team last year that's probably made the biggest impression has been Alton Julian. He's really showed up for us. He's made some nice plays in the scrimmage. He did have an interception last Saturday, and he's made some good plays and being in the run, coming up and being physical from the safety position. But and then it's been encouraging to see we've got a lot of players that were either role players or backup players, and seeing them improve and how well that they've grown in the defense over the last year.
With Isaiah Dunn, obviously he's played a lot for you the last 3 years. 2 for you, but he still doesn't have an interception. Is that something you bring up to him, or do you just figure he knows that and you're going to just keep working on it?
Isaiah, do you know that you don't have an interception? He's right here. He's well aware of that, so I don't think we have to bring it up to him.
Tim, can you just talk about –
hoping that's going to change.
Tim, can you just talk about 3 defensive captains being named yesterday, and Anjay and Isaac and Jaden? Just what have they shown you throughout camp, and what does it show that they were named captains?
Yeah, I think we had a bunch of guys on our football team that received votes, and we got a bunch of guys that could be captains. I think it's a great honor for those guys to be selected by their peers, and it shows, their commitment really to the team and what they bring and how they go about doing their business, both on the field and off the field, that they have the respect of their teammates. But we've got way more than just 4 leaders on this team. We may have just 4 captains, but we got more than 4 leaders, which is what you need. We need everybody to lead in their own way. But it's, whether they're on offense or defense, All four of those guys are great examples about how to do things the right way.
And we've heard a lot about Simon Sandberg this fall, and a lot of the offensive linemen have been really complimentary of him. How specifically have you kind of seen him improve his game compared to last season?
Well, he was, nicked up early on last year, and was actually, had to wait several games before he could play. And it takes a while when you're coming into your first year in a defense like he did, coming from a junior college, and he'd missed most of the year before with the knee injury. And so, it had been almost full 2 years since he had played last. And so him coming on at the end of last year, and really he's been able to come into camp this year and pick up right where he left off last year and continue to improve. And so he's a strong physical player. He's got very good football intelligence. He knows his assignments. He knows how to anticipate plays. And, he does what you want any defensive player to do. He just doesn't stay blocked. And so even if they engage him initially, he's fighting to get off that block and then continue to make his way to the play.
Hey, Jake, obviously there's been a lot of chaos in college football with special teams early this year. How much of that did you pay attention to, and what did you learn?
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of football the last month, but yeah, definitely there's been some chaos going on. I think the big thing I've learned taking from it, just talking to some of my fellow coaches that I know, is like everyone's got to be ready, because you don't know what's going to happen, as far as with personnel, like somebody could test positive, and you don't have a certain position group or kicker or snapper, so everybody's got to be ready, whether it be the freshman holder, kicker, snapper. Everybody's got to be ready to step up and be able to play in a game. And some special teams, some places, I guess you just got to really pay attention to the details and cover every situation. But there's been some games that have been decided by special teams play. I think particularly when I watch some of the tackling on the coverage units, it hasn't been as good as possible, as good as you've seen in the past. But I know we've been working on that throughout the fall camp, so I feel good about our guys.
I know you guys spend a lot of time working on all the units, but during the off season, was there one unit in particular on special teams that needed a lot of attention?
Nothing in particular. I think in the off season, you always look to just get better as a program, as a team, and I think some of the guys we brought in too, and some of the young guys that have developed, it's going to help your units. It's particularly in the DBs. We got some younger guys that have developed and brought some new guys in there, so we're looking forward to using those guys on the coverage units. But as a whole, we're just developing guys in the off season, and then I think we took a step forward year 3 with our program and the culture that Coach Smith's brought. I think we're improving, so I look forward to seeing that on the field this fall.
What from Everett Hayes? What have you seen as his biggest area of improvement?
He's improved in a lot of things. I think the one thing that stands out to me is his confidence. Being a second year, he's more confident going in there. Just like everything else in life, as you get more experience, you get more confidence. So his confidence, and then I think he's got a lot stronger in the offseason. Coach Mack, our strength coach, does a great job, and that's one thing we talked about, is really working in the offseason, getting stronger. And so he's gotten a lot stronger lower body wise, and he's really worked at it. And I'm looking forward to – our whole group has gotten better. I'm looking forward to seeing him in the fall.
You guys had a pretty reliable punting game last year. How does that continue or change with Caleb this year?
First of all, I feel good about all our punters. I think we got a great unit there. Guys have been working hard, competing, but I see us just continue to be solid in that phase of the game. And, I look forward to watching our guys go out there and compete. But I think we got a great group. I feel confident any one of them can step in there and make the kicks we ask of them.
When that first kickoff comes on opening game day, who's going to be more excited, you or the players on the field?
Oh, that's a tough one. Me, I'm definitely going to be juiced. I'm excited. I get, goosebumps just thinking about going down, the first kickoff of the season. But I think everybody's been waiting patiently for this day, and we'll all be excited, but you'll see me on the sidelines. I'll probably be running down with them on the sidelines.
Of the players that figure to take a lot of snaps on offense or defense, is there any who might you see on 2, 3, or 4, even 4 of the kickoff return or punt return or coverage teams?
We got some new faces, but some guys that stood out to me. Jaden Robinson, younger DB, he's been doing a great job on coverage units. Keely Arnold has been doing a great job. I mean, there's a handful of them, but another guy that's been kind of not a surprise, but really showing up for young guys, John Miller, doing a great job on the units. And we got a core of guys. Jack Coletto's been just a big 4 guy, and there's Doug and Kyrie Fisher. So, a lot of those guys on defense have been really stepping up, and it shows to see, just we've improved, our depth on the units. So there'll be some new faces, some young guys I'm excited about.
Well, Isaiah, I know I asked Tim this, so I guess I ask you the same thing. I'm sure you have no picks in your career. Is that something you kind of focus on, or is it just something you let happen organically, or how's that?
It's always been a focus, but I never tried to focus on it too much throughout my career, just because I feel like when you focus on something too much during the game or in practice, it'll get in the way of what you really have to get done at practice. But it's definitely become more of a focus for my senior season.
Isaiah, what did you work on most in the off season?
I put on some good weight this off season. I tried to work on my lateral quickness and my press technique, and learning multiple positions on the field.
How much weight did you put on?
I put on about 12 pounds. I'm 194 pounds as of today, and it's been consistent since the summer.
And for you, do you feel like you're more comfortable at that poundage? And then do you feel like you've kind of lost a step, or are you just as quick?
I'm just as quick, most definitely. I feel like it's kind of the standard for myself and for our position room. Just to gain weight, because throughout a long season you're going to need it when you got to tackle these big backs and these big receivers in the Pac-12.
Obviously, you guys brought in a lot of new guys in the secondary this year. How much more competitive is it in the secondary just to get time on the field?
Oh yeah, it's really competitive. It's really competitive. I was just having a conversation with Jaden Grant the other day. I told him if I could tell somebody, a player coming in to play for Coach Blue, it'd be you need to learn more than one position, because it's a lot of guys on the field that can play corner, that can play just safety, and can play just nickel. So you gotta get out your comfort zone and learn multiple positions, to get on the field.
Who's that guy in the secondary you feel like is best at playing all the positions back there?
Me. No, I'm just kidding. Jaden Grant. We got a few guys actually that have stepped up. Last year, the football IQ was coming along, and it was only a few guys, but now it's become like multiple guys. We got Jaden Grant, who can play corner, nickel, and he can play safety, both spots. And you got Winston Russell, who can play corner and nickel and safety. And then we got Achille, who can play all three, and then now myself included, I can play all three. Like it's starting to be an effect on the whole room now.
Have you played safety at all ever at Oregon State?
No, I have not.
With 12 more pounds, you feel like you will this year?
Man, I feel like I could play it. Yeah, I could. If it was asked of me to do, I'll do it.
Hey, Isaiah, you have seen more than your share of position coaches come and go throughout your time. What is it like, A, playing for Coach Blue, and B, having a position coach more than just 1 year?
It's been really nice. I got to build more of a better relationship with this man, and he came in and he's worked me and pushed me to limits that I like to be pushed to. And that's all that is right there. I mean, he grinds us, and I'm more appreciative of that now this year going into my senior year.
You guys had your second scrimmage the other day. What do you think are things that the defense still needs to kind of work on and improve on ahead of your first game coming up?
I mean, there's always room for improvement in all phases of the game, offense and defense. Even when we think we've been perfect, the coaches said, even when we think we're perfect, they're still going to find a way to tell us that we need to do something better, So I never like to say that there's anything that we don't have to work on, We had a good scrimmage today, and I still think the work needs to be put in,
Going back to what you said about Coach Blue, is there anything like specifically that he does that just makes you guys want to buy in more and play for him more?
In the room we talk about the standard, and he says a lot, but I started to learn more playing for him that it's not really what he says. Like, he can say the standard is such and such, but he's not on the field playing. He's not going to meetings, going to lifts every morning, going to special teams meetings and having to sit there and listen to what we have to do, so it really comes down to us,
Isaiah, given that there's a number of you returning this year that have prior experience and have played under Coach Blue, do you guys feel like there's more pressure on you to be a really great defense? And if there is, do you enjoy that pressure?
I wouldn't say there was ever a drop off in any type of pressure, and if there ever wasn't any, I love the challenge. I love the pressure. So, as a secondary, we invite it, we want it.
Caleb, what did you feel like you needed to prove when you came to Oregon State? What was kind of on your mind?
That's an interesting question. I didn't really feel like I needed to prove anything to anybody. I feel like I needed to prove a lot to myself because and just building confidence, because I think mentally that was the biggest thing that I needed. The biggest hurdle that I needed to get over was becoming confident in myself again, and knowing that I can not only trust myself, but other people can trust me, and that I can be dependable in any circumstance. And I feel like I've come a long way mentally. I think that's the biggest thing. And along that, physically, I feel like better than I ever have. And I feel like that has been attributed to all the hard work that I put in over the summer, and just day in and day out trying to get 1% better every single day, and understanding that the most important thing for me is, being as mentally aware of how I am, and knowing that I have tools that if I ever feel some type of way, that I know how to get out of it, and that I can refocus, being able to focus in every circumstance and every situation, no matter what happens, and just knowing that I have the confidence to execute in every situation.
Where are you at with when you mention the confidence? Will you not know for sure until you get in a game, or do you feel like you've overcome whatever confidence?
I mean, it's not the first time I've been in a game before, and
I meant now that you're back, you haven't played in a while. That's what I was wondering if you're.
Yeah, I haven't played in a while, but it's like riding a bike. In my opinion, I feel more confident now than I ever have before. And I mean, looking back on it, just in my past, I always get more nervous during practice than I do in games. I'm not really sure why, but that's just kind of been how I am. And I feel like the confidence that I gain from practice is going to carry over in the games, because I understand that every little thing that I do is going to push me in the right direction, and it's going to have an impact on how I play during the games. And understanding that confidence that I build, having my teammates trust me, having my coaches trust me, that in itself gives me confidence to go out there and execute to my best ability.
Where did you get your leg strength?
I don't really know how to. Yeah, I don't know. Probably. I really couldn't tell you. I've always had a strong leg since I was little. I played soccer for a long time. Always had the biggest kick on my soccer team, I guess. But I mean, I think it's just playing sports growing up, doing a lot of running around and a lot of things regarding kicking, whether it be soccer, whether it be football, whether it be kickball in the playground when I was in elementary school, just different stuff like that. I mean, I don't really know what I can specifically attribute to my leg strength. I know I have good genetics. My mom was, an Olympic caliber rower. My dad was an Olympic caliber high jumper. So probably something to do with genetics too. But I think it's just kind of me conditioning my leg over time and just developing that strength, like from a lot of reps, and just because I'll go out and kick and I'll not just kick to like turn over the ball or to place it in a certain spot, but it'll get past the point where I'll kick and see how many balls I can kick and try and condition my leg to get it stronger.
At what point?
What's your longest punt ever, whether it's practice or game or whatever? You know what it is?
I don't know. Probably like mid 70 yards. I don't know. I think I hit like one over 70 when I was in Nebraska in practice, and I hit a 69-yarder in a game at Nebraska too. But I'm not really worried about the pass. I'm worried about what I'm doing right now. And I mean, I know I can crank it now. So, yeah, I'm just excited.
Hey, Caleb.
Yeah.
Question for you. I mean, you came from Nebraska, which has a history of being, a storied program. What has the change been coming then to Oregon State for you?
Well, I mean, for me, I was just in a really bad mental state when I was leaving Nebraska, and I feel like that's probably the main thing. I moved a lot closer to my family. My mom's an hour and a half north of me, and my the rest of my family, my brothers and sisters, and my dad, they're down in California, so it's much closer to my family. And I'm also here with my friends. So because obviously Tristan Gebbia, Avery Roberts, and Tyjon Lindsey all were at Nebraska with me, and I came here, and it was just like we were already close when we were over there, and when I came over here, it was just as much fun, and I'm really close with those guys, so it was a really easy transition. Coach Smith I had met back in high school when I went to a kicking camp at UW, I'm pretty sure. Didn't really realize I met him until I met him here, but like I remembered him when I got here. Yeah, I mean, Coach Cookus has been he gave me a good opportunity to show what I can do, and he trusted me in bringing me in here, and I've been working my tail off to really try and just be the best possible version of myself, whether it be just as a person, as a football player, as a student, all around.
It has been a minute since you've been able to play in a game. How excited are you for November 7th?
Yeah, no, it's exciting. It's exciting. I'm just trying to turn some heads, and I'm excited to get it going.
Last question for Caleb. Yeah, Caleb, going back to the soccer thing, how long did you play soccer? Did you do it in high school like a lot of guys do, or give it up before that?
I played I think probably like 16 years soccer altogether. I played in high school, but some things happened and I wasn't on the team anymore. But that is, yeah, I played all the way up to my senior year of high school, and then I also ran track. I probably forgot about that. Yeah, I ran track throughout growing up and throughout high school, and I did long jump. So I mean, that probably helped with my right leg too.
What kind of soccer player were you? Forward or?
Yeah, I was a striker, scoring the goals.
Everett, Coach Smith said yesterday you kicked a 58-yarder in practice, and I know in the scrimmage you hit a 52-yarder, and he mentioned your leg strength was noticeable, and you'd been working out. Was that kind of an emphasis during the off season of just getting bigger and stronger?
Yeah, I mean, before I came here, I didn't lift a ton, to be honest, and there's a big emphasis to get stronger, get my leg faster, and just get better overall.
What's your range?
I would say anywhere inside 60, I'm pretty comfortable with.
How did you end up at Oregon State?
It was actually the spring of my senior year. I'd been talking to a couple schools, and Sapardo hit me up on Twitter and asked me how I was doing. And I started talking to him, and further along the line, I went out and kicked for Cookus one day and came and visited. And from that point on, I decided to come here.
Did you have any idea during your freshman year that you'd get a real shot to play, or did you think you might just ease your way in and see how Division I football goes?
Not really. When I first got here, I knew Jordan was here, and I was just hoping I would learn from him and sit kind of second, and hope I got to travel and got to experience everything, and then hopefully take over this year.
How did it feel on Saturday to get some sort of live reps and kind of get back to kicking in a game-like format again?
It felt good. It felt really good. Felt good to get out there, keep getting experience. I didn't get a lot of kicks last year, obviously, so every kick I can get is a great time. And with the new snapper and holder with Dylan and Luke out there, who have been really great, it was good to get some experience out there.
Do you have any idea at this point whether you'll be doing the kickoffs, or is that going somewhere else? Or
I think Caleb will be kicking off this year, but I'll probably do a couple kickoffs.
How much of a factor is that was that pumped in crowd noise for you on Saturday? Does that make a difference as a kicker, or is it comparable to a real stadium environment?
Not too much. It's pretty quiet. It's not that loud, so it's not too bad. It's a little different in that you can hear a lot more of like singular people talking and people on the defense talking a little bit more that you have to block out, but it's not too bad.
Is that more or less distracting, or does any of that matter to you?
At times it can be. I always think it's easier when it's really loud out and all the voices kind of go to one tone. It's really easy to block out, but it's just something else that you just got to learn to block out.